Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two clear or silver or white rums, whatever you want to call them, describe them as. Here's Skől, imported Skől, dry white. That's what it says on the bottleneck, dry white. And there's the crest, a shield with a crown, 3 fleur-de-lis, a castle, a rum barrel, castle tower, rum barrel, 2 griffins, and it says Skål, which is like the Danish or Scandinavian word for cheers. Now, that's making me think that it probably was introduced and had a connection to the United States Virgin Islands, which used to be owned by Denmark until 1917. So it probably has something to do with that. But it's bottled in Kentucky, Owensboro, Kentucky, for J.A. Doherty's Sons Company. But J.A. Doherty started back in the 1800s, but Doherty started a company. His sons made it real popular. That's why I call it J.A. Doherty's Sons. But they sold out in 1919 because they said, well, it didn't look like the liquor business is going to work too well. Beginning of Prohibition, so not an independent company anymore. Max Walt, good morning, Ron. Good morning to you, Max Walt, in the Russian Federation. So it's clear, as you can see. It doesn't say where it's produced. It just says imported. But if I had to guess, I'd say the United States Virgin Islands, probably at Cruzan Distillery. Okay, here's Don Q Cristal. New bottle design, fancy looking bottle design, huh? Great looking bottle. Royal blue, white, and gold. Introduced in 1978. Age, it's a blend of rums aged 1.5 to 5 years. It's one of the official rums of Puerto Rico. And beautiful embossed bottle. Now, price. And this is from Destilería Serrallés, and they were started in 1865 when Puerto Rico was part of the Kingdom of Spain. Now, if it's imported, would the U.S. Virgin Islands be considered an import? See, that's a good question because it's a U.S. territory. So if you're bringing it from a U.S. territory into the states, the 50 states, would that be considered an import? I don't think it would. So even though it might have started in the Danish Virgin Islands, it might be coming from the British. I know there's a distillery in the British Virgin Islands, but I don't think it's very big. But wherever it's coming from, somewhere. All right. $6.99 for the liter at international market. $6.99 for the liter at international market. That they call it a stud stack, because it just, or an island, not a, what do they call it, an island stack or stud stack? It just sticks out and it's a pallet and they stack it on top. It's not attached to anything. They had that piled high with this cases of this rum for $6.99 a liter. I went back a week and a half, 2 weeks later. It was there. All of it was gone except what they had left, on the shelf. So for that price point, it was going. They still have it over there, but it's it's like $9 a liter now. It's an old brand. It's been around going on 70 years. Is it real popular? Well, yeah, in Louisiana, Skől is popular, but it's the vodka that's popular, not the rum, really. Although you'll see it here and there, the rum, gold and silver, and I think the spiced, they might have an overproof, 151, but 151 proof, but Skől vodka from the same company, J.A. Doherty's Son. I've never reviewed it because I don't really deal with vodka, you know. I don't know enough about it. I could do a review, but it wouldn't really. I always say like, oh, it tastes, you know, like nothing, you know, grain or something. But every convenience store, every grocery store, every liquor-oriented store sells Skől. Skől. I just saw it over the weekend. You always see it. Any store you go to, they're going to have it. Sometimes you can get it $5.99 a liter. Not commonly, you know, it's more like $8. But sometimes they'll have prices on Skől that's crazy, you know. Skől vodka be so cheap. I poured a little bit more Don Q, but it's not much more. The weight differential shouldn't matter. They're both clear. The Skől might have a little yellowness to it, but it's not much. Okay, is Skől extra aged? Come on, you know it's not for no $6.99 a liter. You'd be lucky if it's aged 6 months. Don Q, price. It's $19.99 for that big glass handle bottle. $19.99. It was at least Saturday at Total Wine and More. I don't even think Don Q sold in this town. Got to go more toward New Orleans. It's not really popular around here. Dorgnac's had it though for $12.99 over the winter time, winter of 2021, 2022. $12.99 for the 1,750 milliliter bottle. Well, for that price, I couldn't pass it up, so I bought it. $12.99 plus tax. I said, wow, incredible. And then they had the gold rum for the same price, Don Q Gold. So I was like, I got to go back and get it next time I'm in that town. Métairie. It's a French word meaning like little farm, Métairie, which is interesting because next to Métairie, there's a area called Little Farms. In English, Little Farms, next to Métairie. And my friend who grew up not far from Little Farms told me, yeah, but back in the 1950s, they had a bunch of little farms there along Jefferson Highway by the river, Mississippi River, Little Farms. So they called the area Little Farms. It's not a town, it's just an area of River Ridge. They call it now River Ridge, an unofficial town. You know what I'm saying? Unofficial, but official for the post office. All right. Postal Service. Well, this isn't too sugary. It's like a fermented substance. So what I mean is when you smell it, it smells like some sort of fermented vegetative substance. Grain? No, not so much grain. Although you could convince yourself it's corn. But we know it's sugarcane, so it's kind of hard to unconvince yourself. But more like sugarcane stalks, the grassy stalks, more so than the sugary pulp and juice. That's a little weird. Do they throw away the sugarcane stalks? No. They process them into boards, siding that they put on houses, like cardboard. But it's so thick and heavy, you see, that it lasts a long time. There's a lot of houses around here that use that on their siding. And the stuff, the leftover sugarcane stalks, when they put them to that, you know, those wheels, those grinding wheels that are turning, and it press all the sugarcane out. You can watch videos on YouTube or whatever about sugarcane production. They take all that leftover stuff called bagasse, and they process it into the construction of, you know, housing boards or whatever you call that, siding. It's thick, like about 2 foot wide and 10 foot long. They put primer on it, and then you can paint it whatever color you want it. Oh, they probably use it for all kind of things, though. I guess they don't. It's not just that. Drewski Brewski, hello, my friend. Your fellow drunkard? No, maybe you are. This is just a taster here, my friend. Bagasse, that's what it's called, bagasse. Some French word means leftover sugarcane stalks, I guess. All right. So that's the smell there. Good smell, not sweet, really. And hey, that makes sense because what is the Skől described as? Dry white. Dry meaning the opposite of sweet. So if it's got that kind of nose, that's going to make me think something. Now here, I'm not really getting much different over here. There's a little more fumes coming into my nose. You know, a more fumigation type thing. But really, on aroma, I can't get it. And I had a fiasco Sunday morning. I got it wrong. I was overconfident. I had been doing it for too long, and I'm talking about the series, the tournament, and I kept getting it right. Half the time on aroma only, I was getting Q Cristal correct. I was like, never getting it wrong, never get. So maybe I got sloppy. Now you might say you're just making excuses. You just got it wrong because you couldn't tell them apart. Yes, that's true. Ultimately, I got it wrong and I couldn't tell them apart. I'm not making excuses, okay? I'm just explaining there's reasons probably. Could it have been overconfidence and carelessness? I think that, to me, I think that played a part in it. But bottom line, I got it wrong. It's the first failure in the series, so that's the way that goes. Could it have been that the competitor was a really high quality product that was able to compete? It could be that. But it wasn't really a high quality product. It was just a cheap store brand, Albertsons brand rum. Albertsons brand silver rum, which is what you call a private label, because it's only sold at Albertsons stores. You're not going to see it at CVS Pharmacy, which around here sells liquor. True story. Or Winn-Dixie, a southern grocery chain. You're not going to see it there because they have their own blend of rum called Winn-Dixie rum. WD Winn-Dixie rum. Made by the same people by Sazerac for Winn-Dixie. Well, you know, Sazerac. Well, they do have a rum distillery now. I forgot. In Kentucky, at Glenmore, they make their own rum. They used to import it from some contractor down in the Caribbean, but I guess they figured, let's make our own rum in Kentucky and we can save money. Kings Bay used to be, that's an Albertsons brand, used to be, well, no, because it's sold at other places. It's sold at Albertsons, but Kings Bay used to say imported from the West Indies. I think that's what he used to say, because it probably was no particular island, just whoever had the best bid that year or whatever. But now it says Caribbean style rum from Owensboro, Kentucky. So the next time you buy Skől, you might notice that it says Caribbean style dry white. It's probably made in Kentucky now. Taste telling. I don't care where it's made as long as it tastes good, you know? Like, what difference does that make? They make rum in Louisiana at Bayou Rum Distillery, 7-3 Distilling on Claiborne Avenue. Tastes like rum when I tried it, you know. Yeah, this is the same thing. It tastes sweet, sugar, because it's made from white sugarcane juice, you know. The light, not the dark molasses and all of that. Of course, there's light molasses you can buy. And the grassy sugarcane stalks. So that's what it tastes like. So there you go. Let's go over here. All right. This one has much more depth of flavor, a deeper flavor. Like that one is a good flavor, but it's all top side. It's like a surface flavor, but then there's nothing below. This one goes down, 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 down like a tunnel of flavor. Brand, spell it out. What does that mean? What are you talking about? Brand, spell it out. What are you saying? All right. They're both medium bodied, and they both finished medium long. What would Skӧl cost you for a handle? You know, the big hand, the jug bottle. I call them jug bottles because it's like a jug. Probably, I can look it up on Total Wine. Like $14.99. And the Don Q is $19.99. So is it worth $5 more? Is it worth $5 more? You could make that argument. But I wouldn't say it's definitively worth more than that, $5 more, because you're not really losing that much on the Skől. It's what we call a trade-off. So you're saving $5, and with this we're dealing with, if you're saving $1, it's like you're saving a fortune. Right? So then, so you're saving this much money, but you're only losing this much quality. So you really haven't, you gained more than you lost, what I'm trying to say. In my opinion, if you buy Skől, you're not losing as much as you're gaining on the price point. Would I recommend just trying both? Yeah, I mean, if you say, well, I'm going to try both, but you're not going to pay a lot to start with, and then you're going to get a decent product. I know Skől is a budget brand, as it's by its cheap price, its total lack of advertising, you know, no website to speak of. Sazerac doesn't even acknowledge it. Oh, I thought you said J.A. Doherty's Sons. Yeah, but that's owned by Sazerac. All I can tell you is it exists. You're never going to see an ad, but you're probably not going to see a Don Q advertisement on TV or radio, but you might, or see it in a magazine. Nobody reads magazines, but you could see an internet ad. You could, and they exist. Now, point of sale, if you go to a liquor store, you probably see Don Q from time to time, you know, like the signs hanging up and say this month only, and then they got it on display and all. You might go to a liquor store and they have the lady over there letting you try. Oh, you would like to try some Don Q? We went to Total Wine this weekend, and they had different stations, about 4 or 5 around the store, where they were giving tastings. Would you like to try this tequila? Would you like to try this bourbon and whatever, so forth? And they all tasted good because they usually taste good. And they let us try some beer, and it tastes good because they usually taste good. One lady was saying, well, it's a virtual tasting. And my friend David said, what is a virtual tasting? She said, well, I could tell you about it, and you could look it up on the website. I can give you a card, but you can't taste it because, what did she say? They didn't get the license to let this one be sampled at the store. I think it was something like that. Like you got to get some kind of, official permission to have it sampled, and they didn't do that, or they didn't have time to do it. And my friend David said, I never heard of a virtual tasting. I said, I never did either. I was just jostling you because you flustered your words. Want to fight about it? No, I don't like fighting. Saturday night's all right for fighting, though. All right. That's one of those things where you're following the legal procedure, but it's never going to matter, because who in the world, with the State Department of Taxation and Revenue, and what is it? It's probably Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, Louisiana Department. Who in the world is going to go, check a store and make sure that the samples they're given have been, license from the state. You know, I mean, like, how would they and when would they ever enforce that? But I guess the distributor who was doing the samples and promotion company want to make sure they don't, you know, take the risk. So I said, they got so many regulations. I was reading a book about World War II. My daughter gave it to me for a gift. Why did the Allies win World War II? And it was talking about the Axis and the Allies. And they said there was many reasons, you know, but one of the reasons was that the Axis powers had all these, like, this complex bureaucratic system, like National Socialist Germany. They said most of the people in the German military were sitting in offices all day filling out paperwork. This was all they would do. Like, you couldn't do anything without filling out these, like, complex regulatory forms. And you got to send it to this guy, and they got to send it up the road to these other people. They got to examine it. And it's like you could never get anything done. Like, just common things had to all be like, had to fill out paperwork. Whereas in the Soviet Union, they were very tyrannical also, and authoritarian and bureaucratic, but it was much more streamlined. You know, they said, well, just do it. You know, we're in the middle of a war. We're not trying to fill out paperwork. But they said it was amazing that Germany had these thousands and thousands of rooms full of just millions and millions of documents that people are probably still trying to go through. And it's probably just inane forms, you know, Department of Paperclip tension quality standards, you know, make sure the paperclips got enough tension to hold the paper together. Silly stuff like that. The Department of Redundancy Department. Okay. Let's look it up. Skől. Tell you what, I'm not really picking up a whole lot of difference here. You say, well, that's 1.5 year to 5 year age versus a no age statement. Give me a break. It's going to be way better. Really? Well, it's not really coming up. Okay, Skől. 6.4 vodka. Before this JB inflation, I think it was $5.99, so it's gone up 50 cents. That's bad, but not as bad as we could imagine it could. $5.99 for the 750. Well, you know. And if you want to just sample it, you can get a half of a fifth, you know, the 375 for $3.49. Not as good of a value, but then, well, it's only half the price of the. Well, I mean, you're just saving money. Well, why bother? Why even do that? Why not just buy the 200 milliliter for $1.99? You know what? I might do that next time and give it a review for what it's worth. Meaning nothing, because it ain't going to be worth nothing, you know, but wouldn't kill, you know, wouldn't. Oh, I see they got a new label for Skől. Look at Skől with the new label. All fancy. I think I like the old label better. Okay, Skől Gin. I forgot about Skől Gin. Seen it around. $12.99 for a handle. Boy. Oh, well, too bad, but they don't have the Skől vodka at Total Wine and More. Can't give you a price. Sorry. Of course, I know it's cheap. It's probably $12.99, but it's probably more like $14.99. Love you, Ron. Have a great day. Cheers. Cheers to you. Drink more water. All right. So now the moment of truth. Here we go. I'm so afraid. Okay. I'm like Lindsey Buckingham. I'm so afraid. Good flavor. You'll never hear me criticize Skől rum, and I actually have never criticized Skől rum. Somebody told me that's garbage. It's trash. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, I asked the viewer, what are you talking about? And I didn't get a response. This has got to be the Don Q Cristal because it's got a lot more going for it. But I don't know about $5 more, you know. But anyway. Oh my gosh. 2 in a row. Well, Sazerac, you snickerdoodles. That's the Skől. That has more character. Oh man, this is going to turn out to be just a train wreck, I think. But anyway, if you're not willing to step up to the plate and take the risk, why are you doing live videos? I see people do live videos, but they don't take the risk. Like they'll do a taste challenge, so-called, but they're looking at the beers. Oh, here's Budweiser, and they're pouring it. Or, okay, let's say a better brand. Here's Hoptimum from Sierra Nevada. Here's Hop Slam from Bell's. You know, they're pouring it in the glass and they're looking at it. And then they're telling you which one's better. Oh, I know this one's better. I knew that all along. Well, I mean, you're looking at it. You already had a bias when you started the taste challenge. I don't consider that a true taste challenge. Let me get off of here because now I got a lot of thinking to do. I got a lot of things to work out in my head. We've gone 2 Sazeracs in a row, and they beat Don Q and confused the out of me. Well, you know how you feel right now? I feel worse than that because I said I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to rush. I'm not going to be overconfident. I'm not going to be careless. And I was none of those things, and I still got it wrong. Well, what does that tell me? Well, it could be that I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't believe it because look at all the times I got it right with Don Q up to the Sazerac point. Got it right, got it right, got it right, got it right on aroma only half the time. Then we bring in the Sazerac brands and things start to crash. No, what that tells me, and this could be wrong, but I don't believe, is that the Sazerac products are much better than you would imagine. You say, oh, you're taking up for them because they're only 30 miles from your house, their main office, and they have a distributor right down the road. And yeah, that's true, but I'm not taking up for them. I don't know these people. William Goldring Jr., Bill Goldring does not call me on the phone. I do not work for him. I've never received one free item from him ever. If I did, you'd probably see 10 Sazerac videos a day, not 5 a month. Okay, well, I don't know what to say. It's a shock. And I was careful too when I poured. This was the Cristal, Don Q Cristal. I got the label right there. I was careful. I said, don't get them confused, running your mouth. And I didn't. I just can't believe it. Well, I'm going to say the reason is that Sazerac products are really good. I believe that before this challenge, and I believe it now, of course. I think if you get a product that's from Sazerac, you're going to have a winner on your hands. Now, you may have trouble finding out if it's Sazerac because half the time they won't put their name on it. They'll just say J.A. Doherty's and Sons, the Founders Company, County Line Distillers, Barton Importers, Glenmore Distilling, Fleischmann's Distilling. I could go on and on because they got, I bet you, over 100 alias names that are registered with the Tax and Trade Bureau. You can have 6,000 registered names. It doesn't matter as long as you put them in a registry with the Tax and Trade Bureau so they know who it's belonging to for real. You say, but that's deceptive. Yeah, it is deceptive, but it's allowed. So the only tip off would be if they had that 1-800 number on the bottle, and it's very incongruous, you know, not incongruous, very discreet, in a very discreet, inconspicuous is what I'm trying to say, manner on the bottle. And they might say Sazerac in microscopic print, like micro compressed print. You know, they always say the same thing. We love to hear from our customers. Contact us at sazerac.com. But half the time they won't even have that. They'll just have this 1-800 number, like right here. Toll free, 1-866-7. Can't even see that. It's so small. 729-3722. That's the Sazerac number. And if you call them on the phone, I think they open at 8 o'clock Eastern. So if you call them at 7 o'clock a.m. Central, they're going to answer. They're going to answer this way. Buffalo Trace, how may I help you? That's how they're going to answer the phone. Buffalo Trace, how may I help you? And that will tell you, just that answer right there will tell you a lot. All right. So and that explains a lot. And I think that explains why when you get a brand that's Sazerac, it comes out at a lot higher quality level than you would expect when you see these like really inexpensive products. Don't sell yourself short. You might get fooled, but usually you'll get fooled in a good way, meaning you paid a little and you got a lot. I like those kind of tricks. All right. So tricks are not just for kids. All right, thanks. Well, gotta watch what you're saying. All right, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna end this by saying, y'all, check me for Wednesday. This is Tuesday. Check out the next Hangout Wednesday. We're gonna do another Sazerac product versus Don Q, and I'm afraid it could be a real problem. Thanks, but a good, a problem in a good way because it's fun to do these.